objects of not wanting to be on me, the green ring sensing an unfamiliar pulse pass through it. My mother, the least favored child, was relegated to the footnotes of the will, so these items are my sole inheritance. But I have thought of them as cursed. I've never worn them on planes, and now a stranger is in my home, packing up the remnants of a cruel woman and carting them off. Unfortunately, they are worth quite a bit of money. Even I do not know how much. I've never had them appraised, which would have been necessary to get them insured. Maybe because appraisal always seemed too adult, like hiring a lawyer or buying a water pick. Maybe because I have felt about these things the way I felt about my grandmother, that it was not my job to look after them, but their job to look after me. The thief also steals my other grandmother's silver engagement band, a charm bracelet built for smaller wrists, and a cow-shaped pin I found on the street in Madison, Wisconsin. All I have been left and all I would leave are being dumped into a stranger's backpack. It's indulgent to tell the story like this, in the present tense, as if I can still stop it, as if there's an ankle to be grabbed. There's no ankle. I can't stop what's already happened. But this is the only way I can explain the events of June 27th, 2019, or the days that follow it. 30 days down to the hour that will be bookended by personal loss. 30 days down to the hour that I cannot know will be a precursor to a year of global loss. Eventually, I will look back on the burglary and see it for what it is, a dark gift of delineation. I know when my first bomb went off. Not everyone gets to know. And no one is obliged to learn something from loss. This is a horrible thing we do to the newly stricken. Remember the good times while they're still in fetal position, like feeding steak to a baby. I have read the grief literature and the grief philosophy, and God help me, listen to the grief podcasts. And the most practical thing I have learned is the power of the present tense. The past is quicksand, and the future is unknowable. But in the present, you get to float. Nothing is missing, nothing is hypothetical. In truth, I am writing these words on the evening of August 27th, 2019. It's a Tuesday. The Amazon is on fire. It's been 2 months since the burglary. It's been 1 month since the violent death of my dearest friend. This occurred on the evening of July 27th, 2019. I will be editing these sentences much later, after several dozen 27ths have passed, when the gap between the past and the present is more of a chasm. By then, I will be able to better control how I think of these absences. I will be able to proceed with a conversation without flinching when someone mentions the wrong movie or the wrong song. But right now, I am in denial that my friend is gone. I am, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, in denial that the jewelry is gone. Human beings are the only animals that experience denial. All creatures will try to survive under attack, will burrow when under siege or limp through the forest. But they recognize trouble when it hits. Not one fish in the history of fish, having gotten its fins chewed off, needs another fish's perspective. I don't know, Tom. That looks pretty bad. Denial is humankind's specialty, our handy aversion. We are so allergic to our own mortality, we'll do anything to make it not so. Denial is also the weirdest stage of grief because it so closely mimics stupidity. But it can't be helped. I can't be helped. I am holding these losses as an ant might, as if they are familiar but not quite mine, as if they are books I will be allowed to return to some centralized sadness library. In the days immediately following the burglary, I am a tragic figure among my friends, but in a fun way. Something real has happened to me, but not to my body. I am not raped or maimed or consigned to a fatal disease. I'll live. Plus, I come bearing a